Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? When Peter got out of the boat to walk towards Jesus, Peter was doing fine until he took his eyes off of Jesus and he began to notice the storm. He began to notice what was going on around him. He took his eyes off of Jesus and he put his eyes off of what he could see naturally, in the natural realm, in the physical realm. And when he began to look at what was happening in the natural realm, in the physical realm, what he saw swayed him. What he saw influenced his faith. So even though, same thing with us. When we begin to look at the natural realm, when we're walking by faith, we're believing God. We're believing God to, do something for us, to move for us, for the miraculous. When we take our eyes off of him, off of the word, off of, the unseen realm, what we're believing God for, and we begin to look at the natural realm, it can cost us a lot. It cost Peter, didn't it? It cost Peter when he got out of the boat and began to look around and began to pay attention to what was happening in the physical realm. When we're standing by faith, we cannot put our attention on what's happening in the natural realm. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, as a matter of fact, the exact year was 2016. I had used some heavily fragranced body products. And those body products caused me to have a rash. It was a really bad rash. That rash was all over my body except my face area. But the rest of my body was broke out and it was red and it itched really badly. And I began to believe God to heal me of that rash. And I began to quote the healing scriptures. I was praying about it. I was confessing and I was standing for my healing. But I noticed something. Every time I would look at that rash, it seemed like that rash was getting worse. And I would look at it because it would itch and it was red. And it seemed like the more I looked at it, the more it spread all over my body. And then I understood something. If you're believing God by faith to heal you, why are you looking at your body to decide whether or not you're healed? Why are you looking at the rash to tell you whether or not you're healed? So you are looking at that rash and deciding that you're not healed because you hadn't seen anything change. And I had to stop looking at the rash, even though it itched, even though it was red, even though it was unsightly. I had to bring myself to not paying attention to what that rash was doing on my body, but that I had to take a firm stand of faith. By his stripes I am healed, regardless of what this rash was doing, regardless of if it was spreading or it was itching more or it was red, regardless of all that physical indication that I was not healed. I had to take my eyes off of the natural realm because looking at that rash was influencing my faith in a negative way. And that's the same thing that happened to Peter. It cost Peter. It cost him when he got out of the boat and took his eyes off of Jesus and he began to look around at the natural realm. We have to do the same thing. When we take that firm stand of faith and we begin to believe God for whatever it is that we are trusting him to do, whatever we're trusting him for, we cannot allow the natural realm to speak to us. We cannot allow the natural realm, what we see in the physical realm regarding, that faith project that we're standing for. We cannot allow the physical realm to be an indication that God did not hear our prayer. It cannot influence our faith because if we allow it, it will sway our faith in a negative way. I just wanted to share that with you today. God bless you.